Okay. Adequate notice for this evening's meeting. This evening's meeting has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act pursuant to Public Laws 1975. Said notice was advertised in the Beacon and was posted on the bulletin board showing the time and the place of the meeting. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have a presentation here, but first I must, have a distinguished guest in the audience, and that's Freeholder Quinn. I talked to Gary. I know Gary, just like Marlon Brando used to say, on the waterfront. Every time I try to get out, they drag me back in. So, okay. So who's up? We got the presentation from the county solid waste recycling methods, and Tony Agliata and John Stanton. Who's going to talk first?
Good evening, everyone. Tony Agliata. I'm the Director of Solid Waste, Ocean County. And again, thank you all for having us here tonight. And what we want to do tonight is just talk about recycling in Ocean County. We want to talk about where it was, where it's and where it's going. We also want to talk about what the county is doing to invest through the Ocean County Board of Freeholders in the facility. Tonight I got Atlantic Coast Recycling here. That's our recycling operator. I have Sean McLaughlin from our staff here, and also freeholder Gary Quinn, who is our liaison to the department. So again, thank you all for coming, and I'll turn it over to Atlantic Coast Recycling.
Good evening. Thank you for having us today. Now, I'm not going to give the typical 6 or 7 hour presentation.
Oh, that's good.
So,
Give us a Cliff Notes version.
No, I usually shouldn't do that.
Let's see.
What I'm going to do is talk a little bit about, I was asked to talk about why there's a change in recycling.
Correct.
What's occurred, what's coming in the future, and what caused
Right.
this mess that the whole world is in. This is not specific to New Jersey, not specific to Ocean County, it's the whole world. So, we'll talk about the overseas quality issues that's causing it. We'll talk a little bit about the pricing demands, the pressure on the towns, the pressure on recyclers. We're going to talk a little bit about Ocean County single stream, not specific to Lacey, but Ocean Counties.
Okay.
We're going to talk about what's being done about it. And lastly, it's a little 3-minute video that we put on our website. The county's putting on theirs. If you want to put it on yours, you can put it on yours also.
Absolutely.
Overseas quality issues. There was something called the Green Fence, which started in 2013. China is the largest market in the world for paper. It's cardboard, that's mixed paper, newspaper. They're the ones who consume most of the material. Plastics and tin and aluminum, that's mainly domestic from the East Coast. From the West Coast, though, that does go to China, or did. So about in 2013, they enforced regulations on plastic that said, no more garbage, we want it clean, only 3% contamination. And if you had a business, say buy raw material, you wouldn't want a lot of contamination in it also. And then about 2 years later, they started something called Green Godness. And that targeted the garbage that's in recyclables. And they dropped the contamination level from 3% to 2%. And then there's this little documentary called Plastic China. And if any of you have Amazon Prime, you can see it for free on there. It's about, and this changed the world. This is just a trailer. It's a short trailer, it's 30 seconds. labor. And when President Z, I have trouble saying, heard about this and saw this, he was embarrassed, very embarrassed. So he initiated what's called National Sword in 2017. And he banned plastics, period. No more plastics coming to China, I won't allow it. Didn't affect the East Coast where we are, but it affected all the plastics on the West Coast and from Europe. And then this year, or 18, he began what's called Blue Sky, which is the most stringent quality program that's ever been initiated in the world. Maximum of 0.5% contamination. Now, prior to green fence, we talked about in 2013, so in 2012 and prior, there was contamination levels anywhere between 5 to 10%. Now we're down to 0.5%. That means in 100 pounds, we used to be allowed to have, say, 10 pounds. I can do 0.5 pound now. That's all I can do. Anything more, and it's rejected. And we talked about National Sword. I'll talk a little bit about that. In 17, they notified the World Trade Organization that they're going to ban the imports of unsorted waste paper from single-stream facilities. All recyclables in Ocean County are single-stream. And China came back and said, if it comes from a single-stream facility, we're not taking it. Now, you guys remember some years ago, we used to do dual-stream, you know, where there were cans and bottles in one pile and newspapers in another pile. That was what we used to do. That's the only material they wanted to take any recyclables from. And then they started limiting the amount that he would even come in. So they immediately cut off 50% of the material flow into China from around the world. And Blue Sky came. And they said mixed paper, which is what every plant that was built in the last year was designed to make, mixed paper. Because it's single stream and because it's dual stream, if any of you guys remember a long time ago, Garden State Paper used to take all the paper from Ocean County. And it was black and white. Remember, you put a stack of newspapers in one pile, and then you put magazines in another from Markel and stuff. That was really clean paper, okay? Now, when you get to mixed paper with single stream, everything gets mixed together. So that's why every plant started making mixed paper for China. And it's a perfectly acceptable fiber. There's nothing wrong with it. But China says, we don't want it anymore. And they stopped accepting it. So that made every facility in the United States obsolete. In addition to that, there's a little thing called a trade war going on between, I don't know if any of you guys heard of that before, between the United States and China.
Yeah.
And China slapped a 25% tariff on any recycled paper shipped into China right off the bat, 25%. So that means that there's less revenue for the processor, there's less revenue for the towns, because you're losing 25% off the top. So why is China so important? Well, they're the largest buyer, number one. And the rest of the world can't absorb what China is used to consume. And to top it off, which is not even in the presentation, a lot of the material that was going to China started going to Indonesia. And about 3 weeks ago, you heard this little wave in Indonesia that affected all the paper mills there. So if we had this perfect storm, you couldn't get any better. So how has it affected pricing? To you, to everybody? That's me screaming. As an example, OCC, which is cardboard, it used to be $235 a ton. Once we bale it, we clean it, we process it, that's how much we would get for it. That dropped to $112. And if you didn't ship to China, it was at $70. So just think if you own a business, and the price today, other than China, is a third of what you got just a year earlier. How would you survive? But for domestic, China is paying their people in China $600 a ton for the material. They're losing money on it, but they're building their infrastructure. And one of the things that affects all of you, because Ocean County has a sharing arrangement with all the towns,
Right.
where they take the revenues that come in and they split it with them. In the first quarter of 17, a ton of single stream was worth $102 and change. That was the value once you process it. By the fourth quarter of 17, it was $91. Now, if you go before that, in 16 and 15, it was much higher than that, but that's past. In 18, by the third quarter, it dropped to $68 a ton. That's what the value of the materials did. Yet, it cost probably $80 to process.
Uh-oh.
So it's stuff, you know, it's like the guy who sold coffee, you know, and he sold it for a nickel, and it cost him a dime. He said, make up in volume.
Right,
Doesn't quite work.
right.
So the value has gone down 34%. Really big drop. So what issues do we have as a processor? When I say we, it isn't just us. This is every processor in the United States. We try to clean it up. But when you clean it up, it costs you more money because you have to hire more people. When we took over the Ocean County facility, originally there was about 45 or 50 people that worked there. We now have almost 100. Just because we need that. Do I have to go over there?
No, I'm just gonna bring this out.
Okay, yes, move around.
So that's fine.
We need the extra people just to sort the material. Because if it's not clean up, that 0.5%,
Right.
no one's gonna buy it. And if no one buys it, it just sits there and the piles build up. So as it says there, slower production is a higher cost. More and more contamination has to be pulled. And to kick things off, I don't know if anyone realizes, we're not in Southern California and it actually rains here. And now if it's wet, the markets won't accept the paper. And I don't know how to stop the rain. I tried. I mean, I danced and everything. Nothing happened. So let's talk a little bit about Ocean County specific single stream. This is from November 8th. We had one of our guys we take pictures of all the loads that come in. And we had one guy there, and you can see the dates are on it, just to see some of the material that came in. So you can see this is supposed to be mixed with news. You can see there's, or I guess this
Is
is
it styrofoam or?
but there's some styrofoam there.
Yeah.
There's plastic there. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's there.
Right.
Then you have pool hose.
Oh,
And the recycling.
And the recycling, because of course everyone's
plastic or
plastic.
rubber.
Why not? Here you have a lot of plastic bags. Plastic bags are an issue. All you probably have seen TV programs about plastic bags and so forth. It's a major, major issue. There's a couple reasons for it. Mark is the plant manager, by the way, so he's back there doing it. When things are being recycled and sorted, the plastic bags go what's called a star screen, which are just circles that go around. Things fall through. It's supposed to. Glass and bottles and cans falls through. But when plastic gets around it, that closes off the spacing where things go down. So instead of everything falling through, everything just continues along the line. And then every day, 4 times a day, we have workers that have to climb on these screens, and we'll show you some of this. And physically, with box cutters, have to cut all the plastic off, so they're laying on their belly for hours.
That's insane.
Now you can see here, I don't know what that is. Is that, oh, that's vegetation. Because gotta help the plants. Here we have some more polystyrene, some more styrofoam.
oh, how
Siding.
exciting.
There's some aluminum siding. Well, vinyl siding.
It's vinyl.
Sorry. No more aluminum siding. Some
Oh.
laundry baskets.
It's plastic.
Oh, plastic. And there's
Stuff, yeah, garbage.
Literally, that's someone's garbage.
Oh my gosh.
These aren't specific to yours or anybody's, but I guarantee you, every load that goes out has this in it.
Sure.
Everyone. There's, I don't know, that's car filter, is that a truck filter or something, an air filter up there, is that?
It's like an animal cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is that animal cage, is that what it is?
Looks like, yeah.
Okay. Well, it's for the rodents that would be in the mix. There's,
It's like a hubcap.
It's
yeah.
gutters and
That's
leaders.
the drink.
There's more stuff I
It-
can circle.
That's a.
What's
drink.
that, like half of a ball or something?
I thought that was a hubcap or something.
We get
Yeah.
bowling balls all the time.
What?
You come to the plant. Anyone wants to come to the plant, you'll find bowling balls. We get, how many a day? 3 or 4 days.
You guys have a bowling team or something?
We do now, we did it before.
You get pins too?
Wait for the pins. There's
Ice cube
There's
tray.
some ice cube trays and some metal, or maybe it is plastic. I don't know what that is. I don't know, is that metal or plastic, you think? That's
I have
plastic.
no idea, but it's not recyclable.
It's not recyclable. Recyclable, Ocean County specifically states it should be in bottles and cans.
Right.
They're really, it's a simple rule.
Right.
It's not. Is that a car seat or some sort of cushion or something?
Maybe an ottoman?
Could be.
Yeah.
That's.
Oh, that soffits to
Yeah,
the
That's
house.
yeah, that goes with the siding we saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, are they for real? These demands that China's making, or are they just making it up? President Xi, at the annual meeting that they just had, he mentioned the environment 89 times. But the economy, which remember he talks about China's economy's got to grow, only 70 times. He realizes that he's in the Industrial Revolution that the United States was in some years ago, a long time ago. You know, and he's got to get the environment cleaned up also. Can't just worry about the economy. So what can we do to clean it up? We have to educate the public. You have to educate the crews that pick up the recyclables. And you have to make sure that the recycling containers have tops on it so the moisture doesn't get in, because it does rain.
Why do you think we've gotten so far off track of doing the right thing?
Because it wasn't enforced.
And because it's single stream.
Because it's single stream.
The lack of education.
Yeah.
Because I've got to tell you the truth, wet cardboard, you know, I keep all my recyclables in my garage, but when I get big boxes, what I'll do, I'll take a big box, I'll put a bunch of small boxes in it,
And
I'll
put
put
it
it on the side
outside
of my
too.
house, and if it rains between the time the truck
Yep.
comes in and, you know, it's out there, because I never really knew that.
You don't think about it.
And as far as plastic, yeah,
No,
you know,
you're right,
I
Mike, I do the
got
same
away
thing.
from that, bottles and cans, a plastic ShopRite bag, well, let me throw it, and I'll throw it. So it's really education. And we don't realize, I'm sure our recycling calendar states specifically.
I got it. I've got it
What
here.
is allowed, but, you know, how many people read it? I mean, I look at
They
it because
read
my
it, it's their
picture's
Bible.
in it, of course, but you know, aside from that.
The thing is, when you have paper, you know yourself, if it gets wet, try to separate newspapers.
Yeah,
You
absolutely
can't.
right.
It's impossible. You can't do it.
Right.
And that's why China's saying they don't want it. They say something.
Yeah, what that does at the plant, we might run 22 tons an hour when it's dry, and when it's wet, it drops down to like 16 tons an hour. It just-
Productivity is,
That
yeah.
plastic bag makes all the sense in the world, and like I said, you know, in your mind, you think plastic. Oh, guess what? I've thrown boxes with styrofoam. Without a doubt I have, because it's like, well, it's styrofoam, it's plastic, you know, just in your mindset.
Well, let me ask you a question, because all you remember the Garden State days and black and white newspapers and cans. When you had a pile of just paper, you didn't throw anything else in there because
No.
it looked like a pile of paper.
Right.
You didn't throw a plastic bottle or anything. And when you had the cans and bottles, you didn't throw paper in it because it was just cans and bottles.
It's your fault, you made it too easy for us.
No,
Yeah.
the
Single stream.
industry made it easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we didn't enforce it as an industry, and the towns didn't enforce
Right.
it as the public entity.
Right.
Even though the rules were always there from everybody. And China would accept it, because they needed the material to grow their economy. Not so much anymore.
Right.
So, what are we doing about this as a company? We document all deliveries of all the recyclables, and we have rejected some towns. Comes in, it's so contaminated, we tell them about it. When I say towns, we have not done any municipal towns, we've done commercial entities. And, no, actually, we have done some, yeah, actually. There was, yeah, I was about to, that was pretty recent that we started doing some towns, but if it's so bad, you can't do anything about it.
So if it's,
And-
I mean, when it's bad, you'll give us, if it's bad for, I'm assuming a couple of weeks in a row or
Oh, yeah,
whatever.
we end up
Then
telling-
you tell us and,
Correct.
okay.
We don't just, boom, we never told you, and then all of
Right,
a sudden,
right.
surprise, surprise, we would never do that.
Right.
And we're making a database of all the deliveries, and we take pictures of virtually every delivery, right?
Yeah.
That comes in, every truck that comes in, we take pictures of it.
Wow.
And we're doing that because of what you're saying. If there's a trend that on truck number 17, which picks up on Mulberry Street or whatever,
Right.
always is dirty, then we can go back to you at one point and say, look,
Oh, wow.
this one truck, we're not there yet, but
Right.
that's what.
How far out before you'll be able to tell us, say, Route 7 to Route 10 is dirty, we can start?
Commercial is easy.
Right, right.
The residential part, we're still developing that, and it'll probably be a couple months to be.
Couple
And
of months?
that's not really gonna be too tough with our vendor that we have, because he has specific trucks assigned to specific areas, so they're gonna know.
Right, right.
You know,
Right, so as soon
Meadowbrook
as-
will
right, so as-
definitely
Right.
know.
And that's the idea.
Joe already knows some of the areas, the owner of Meadowbrook, as to where we're having problems. One of them is Pheasant Run, they're putting out the recyclables in plastic bags.
And that's a problem.
And that's a problem. I don't know why all of a sudden the change and why they decided to do that, but they're putting it out in plastic bags. So we're trying to re-educate them. I know Dan has made a phone call to them to keep reminding them, but we're having a problem.
I'll tell you a true story, and it's about Monmouth County, it's not about Ocean. But we dealt with the retirement community, and Ocean County has a few retirement.
Yeah, just a few.
Just a few.
And we were getting trucks and trucks of all these little basketballs of bags, plastic bags, that were recyclables. And then literally hundreds of them would pop out of the truck. And we had to go back, so we went with the county coordinator, we went back to where it was. It's on Route 9, this place, I'm not gonna say which one it is. But, and we told them, we said, we keep telling you, you can't put them in these little bags because we gotta cut them open. We slice, basically, there's no equipment that opens these bags, so we have to hand slice it with a knife. Then a person has to reach in and pull out the recyclables. And the guy says, well, we can't do it because I won't get reelected as president of the village. And I said, well, I understand that, but you have to clean it up. And we told him half a dozen times, we need to clean it up. So we said, we're not taking them anymore, we can't. So he said, all right, give me one more chance, I'm gonna have my guys do it. So he had the residents, he allowed them in plastic bags to continue. And a week later, he calls me in and he says, I can't do this anymore. I said, why? He said, look, I opened up and one of my guys almost got stuck with a needle. I can't do that, take a chance, my guys will get cut. He said, oh, but it's okay for our guys to get cut or stuck with a needle. We didn't have an answer to that. Because our guys do get stuck with hundreds or 50 needles. We get a lot. You wouldn't think we should, but we get a lot. And once you get stuck, you have to have tests for 6 months to make sure it's not hepatitis.
Hepatitis.
Oh, my gosh.
And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the hospitals supply, if you're somebody who takes needles for diabetics, the containers for you to dispose of them, and then you can turn them into the hospital and they'll give you an empty.
Yeah.
But they don't. And that's,
They used to just put them in plastic bottles and recycle.
Yeah,
Because it's plastic bottle. So basically, what some hauling companies have been proactive, they've been rewarding their drivers when they report a non-compliant stop. Like if they go to a municipal stop, not a municipal, a commercial stop, and this one guy's always contaminated, they tell their boss, and they get what is it? How much of a reward?
Like $50.
$50 reward for telling them, because that's cheaper for the company to be able to tell the customer than to have the whole load rejected.
Right.
And they have a
Right,
problem and stuff.
Right,
A lot of municipalities are tagging the stops,
right,
and they're
That's what we're doing.
talking about being non-compliant.
right.
And what we're doing as a company, and Ocean County is being very proactive,
Right.
is in putting more efficient equipment in the existing facility to help with some of these problems.
Okay.
So, we're not alone in this, you're not alone in it, we're all in this together. And that's the only way it's gonna solve it. Now, instead of questions, I have a 3-minute video, which I told you about, I'll show you, and then if you have any questions, is that okay with everybody?
Sure.
It's a short video.
If only the homeowner had put the lid on their garbage container, the recyclables would have stayed dry during the heavy rain last night. Unfortunately, all the cardboard and newspapers are soaked and would be difficult, if not impossible, to sort. If they can't sort the paper, it may have to go in the trash and never get recycled. It's a beautiful day today. The sun is shining and it's a great day to recycle. Everyone wants to do all they can to help the environment. Mrs. Jones has just put her recyclables at the curb. Good job, Mrs. Jones. Even Al takes time out from bowling to put his recyclables at the curb. Yikes! This homeowner put their recyclables in black plastic bags. That's never a good thing to do. You never know what's inside the bags. Hope they only put recyclables in there and not a lot of trash and food waste. Looks like those kids had a pizza party last night. Bet they had a great time. Boy, I'd love a slice of pepperoni pizza right now. Just thinking about it is making me hungry. Well, the truck is full and it's off to the recycling center, where Atlantic Coast Recycling will separate the recovered recyclables and ship them out to make new products. Lots of high-tech equipment there. We're almost at the Atlantic Coast Recycling Processing Center. You can see the building in the distance. Atlantic Coast Recycling is the largest private processor in New Jersey, processing enough recyclables to fill Giant Stadium every 5 months. That's a lot of recyclables. We can see all the recyclables that were collected today are being unloaded out of the recycling truck and getting ready to be sorted. It's the sorter's job to separate the different types of paper and pull out all the non-recyclable items, which are called contamination. It's very difficult to separate the wet cardboard from the wet newspapers. The papers rip and stick to each other, making it virtually impossible to sort. Unfortunately, when paper is wet, the paper mills do not want the recovered paper for recycling. Oh my, is that a diaper from Mrs. Jones' home? Can you imagine having to pick it up? She shouldn't have put the diaper out with the other recyclables. Diapers cannot be recycled with the paper. It should have been thrown out with the trash. Is that an old bowling ball that someone put in with recyclables? It may be plastic, but a bowling ball cannot be recycled. What was the bowler thinking? Does it look like a water bottle to you? I hope that pizza in the box didn't come from those teens. I know I wanted a slice of pepperoni pie before, but I sort of lost my appetite looking at it now. Why would someone leave pizza in the box? Any food in the recyclables ruins the recyclable, especially any type of paper container. Pizza leaves an oil stain, which contaminates the pizza box and it can't be recycled. We can see the bags getting tangled in the gears. This slows down the processing of the recyclables. They must shut down the system and climb on the machines to remove the plastic bags that are tangled in the system. If they didn't remove the bags, the system would not work properly. Oh no, did you see that? The sorter almost got stuck with a needle. That would be very bad if the needle punctured her skin. It's possible she could have gotten hepatitis, or worse. She would have to go to the doctor and get shots and medicine, and be tested for many months to make sure she did not get any diseases. When people use plastic bags, the sorters can't see what's inside and may get injured. How are the sorters going to pick up all the small pieces of shredded paper? The shredded paper will just contaminate all the good recyclables. People put lots of things in with the recyclables that shouldn't be there, such as food, shower curtains, bicycles, car bumpers, toothpaste tubes, and even football helmets. None of these should be put out with your recyclables. Please help us save the environment by only putting the items that can be recycled in with your recyclables. By working together, we can make a better world for all of us.
Any questions of us?
No? Anybody from the township committee?
What type of wear and tear does the recycling done in an erroneous manner do to your equipment? Plastic bags, people climbing on it?
The biggest contaminant is glass, because glass is very abrasive, and it wears in the gears and so forth. So what Ocean County has done,
That
as I
would go
said,
in a
they've been very
bag if you
proactive.
leave a bag out.
I'll tell you the truth.
Just stick it on a bag. So if you
I
have a
deal with
plastic bag out,
virtually every county
or
in
a
Jersey.
cardboard box that's contaminated, you
Ocean
stick it
County is
on
probably
that
the
because
most
they have no hang.
proactive and aggressive recycler in the state by far. They really are. I worked for Garden State Paper
And when they started
years
this,
ago, and they were great. at
January.
everything. They do a wonderful job compared to most other counties. But because of that,
Tagged a bunch of
what
those.
we're saying is, we're actually putting in, the county is putting in some brand-new glass sorting equipment, which is gonna take out the glass in the beginning of the process, which reduces maintenance, which reduces cost ultimately for everybody, and extends the life of the equipment. So that's coming in the next 6 or 7 months. Because it's all custom-made equipment.
Sure.
It's not like go to Walmart and buy it.
Sure.
And so that is coming in.
You want to explain these, or?
I can explain that.
Sure. Not a problem.
Rosemary Coffee, the recycling coordinator. So what you're gonna find, this year, if you're recycling and not put out correctly, Meadowbrook will be tagging your recycling can. We will not be picking it up. Here's your little reminder, it's a Oops label, we want to be nice and kind to everybody. We didn't want to give you that big red sticker, so we're gonna give you one of these. And if you turn it around, you have a list of what is actually recycled in single stream recycling. What we also did was a decal that you can pick up at Public Works. You can pick them up at the administrator's office. This can go on your can, it's designed to go on your recycling can. So when you go place your items in the can, you'll know what's to put in. Okay, it's very specific, very easy. We also have our calendar. The calendar this year is strictly on the environment and recycling. It tells you everything. We have information from the county. We have information from the DEP. And to that, with the bowling ball, okay, the DEP has a flyer that says none of these items belong in the recycling. And look what they are. Okay, so we have plastic bags, the bowling ball, styrofoam, and garden hose. So none of these belong in recycling. Obviously, this is the problem. DEP put the flyer together. We took all their information. DEP wants us to be consistent with the county and all municipalities, so we're trying our best to do that. If you have any questions, call us to Public Works. That's all I can say.
So I have a question, John. That 3-minute video that you just showed, is there a way for us to utilize that and put that on our websites, Facebook?
I can give you a flash drive with the, I don't have it with me today.
No,
Sure.
I understand that
Please do.
completely.
I can do that.
Yeah, because we also are trying to go out into these schools as well,
Right.
and I think that's geared towards, the elementary schools and stuff, for us to educate
It's
them.
simple so that the kids would enjoy it.
Well, we
That's
find
what's-
best to educate the kids because they're more apt to
Yeah.
go home and educate their
You
parents.
were 100% right, and that's why we did it. It's a simple thing,
senior
it's not
communities.
serious. You know, if there's no other questions, one thing in one way that you should be aware of, if you're not, Ocean County has a very good arrangement with all the towns. If you go out of Ocean County, for example, in Monmouth County, the towns there, they're paying up to $108 a ton to get rid of single stream.
Interesting.
108, that's what they're paying. If you go to Middlesex, they're in the 60s.
What is our tonnage about a year, Ro? Do you recall off the top of your head?
Our tonnage, are you talking about just recycled tonnage?
Yes, if you don't mind.
It's about, we used to process on
48,
just the
50.
single stream items, just single stream.
Uh-huh.
We used to process around 2,500 tons in the quarter.
In a quarter?
Every quarter.
Wow. That's
We
10,000.
talked-
Now, things are less, obviously, because of contamination, a lot less. I think we processed, the last quarterly report was 1,086 or something.
Wow.
So is that what
And
you're
every,
talking a year
Every day
per ton?
at our
Yeah.
facility in the north,
For
again,
our
we get a
tonnage?
tonnage
Yeah.
report on
We're
what
talking
comes
10,000
in.
tons a
Again,
year
it's
about,
very
yeah.
amount of
At 2,500.
recyclables,
Yeah.
It's a lot of
leaves,
money.
everything
Well,
else
like
like
if you go
that.
by the
And again,
108 that
today,
Long's paying.
maybe a little bit of a slow day, about 340 tons came in today. And again, depending on the time of the season, we go up to whatever, probably close to 500.
Over 500 per day.
The thing about that as far as tonnage.
And that's quite an expense if the municipalities had
Had
to
to
use
pay
the
that.
Monmouth County rate.
Yeah, you're right, and as I said, Ocean County is very proactive.
Right.
And the towns are very cooperative, I'll tell you the truth, they are. And so you guys are very unique in the state, and you should basically pat yourselves on the back for that.
Well, this-
But in other counties, the charges for Center Street are very high.
And again, I think what the, and everybody will see, with, again, with the commitment moving forward, it shows the freeholders, again, our commitment to be with, in conjunction with Land Coast Recycling, to be close to $5 million in improvements. So again, within the period of maybe, somewhere, maybe 12 to 18 months, we're gonna have a state-of-the-art facility.
And you'll give tours of that facility?
Yes,
Always,
tourism
always.
available.
There you
all
go,
the time.
guys.
Okay.
Just let us know. We can-
Yeah. No, this was.
They can always use some extra hands some days a week, right? So I can get them to come up and help out?
This-
And
this-
when we remember, we had the recycling coordinators come,
Yes.
Right.
and we took them right down to the tip floor. And it was kind of interesting because one town was dumping and everybody was, oh, look at your material. So it was educational. Along those lines, we were probably reaching almost 18 or 19% of contamination level.
Oh.
And since we've been proactive in education and bringing recycling coordinators there, we're down to about 11, 12% right now.
I see, you're moving in the right
We
direction.
see an effect
We see
of
the progress.
education.
Yeah, we got a letter, I guess, in the fall, there's a possibility we could lose our money on this. And I said to Veronica, we need to get on this right away. That's why you're seeing the calendar. I wanted to get you guys in here real early in the year, because I got a funny feeling you guys are gonna go to a lot of towns and let's put this presentation on. I wanted to get in front of this, and, these are the things that we need to do. I didn't, shredded paper, would never have occurred to me. I shred a lot of stuff. I'd never just dump it, I don't put it in a bag, I just dump it into my recycling, and
The
I never would have heard of
municipalities
it.
do,
Pick it up.
Right,
can't sort it. You don't think about it.
never, and then covering it, I'm like Mark, I would, never even
We
thought of it.
encourage you to come because these little things that you don't think about, you see the
Right.
effect.
Right,
with shredded paper though, and such as, the municipality,
Right.
when we are able to get rid of records, we do send them out to a third-party shredder, but we get the tonnage receipt and get credit for that. So
Right.
you can get credit for your shredded paper, you just have to take them to a recognized dealer that takes shredded paper. It's just not the county facility.
my little three,
I know, but like, you save it until Ocean First comes here, or the county comes here for their free shredding day, and then we'll get a receipt that goes towards our tonnage, recycling
can I
tonnage.
store that in your backyard?
Sure, why not? You said this much, I'm good.
Well, it's like a per month or per week or whatever.
If it's all together, the shredded paper is a valuable commodity. We sell that. The county brings us, from a lot of the towns, they have separate roll-offs, where they have the material in it. And we get the material and we bail it up, and that's a saleable commodity worth a lot of money.
Right.
Problem is, when it gets mixed up with other things,
Okay.
now it's worth garbage, because you can't separate it.
Right,
And when you get it wet, so you have shredded paper, imagine shredded paper, big paper luff is hard enough to sort.
Right.
If your shredded paper is wet, it's sticking to everything.
Right.
And when you have the shredded paper stuck to the aluminum cans, which are the most valuable commodity, they'll downgrade what we sell them because they said there's paper in it.
right,
We can't stop it.
yeah.
So,
So Peter, no more pizza boxes.
No more pizza boxes.
Thank you very much, John.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
This is a motion to adjourn.
Anybody have anything else?
Anybody have anything else?
We can adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Move it. Second.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Okay, we're moving right over into the township meeting. All right. Okay, adequate notice for this evening's meeting has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act pursuant to the public laws of 1975. Said notice was advertised in the Asbury Park Press and the Beacon and was posted on the bulletin boards showing the time and place. Now a salute to the flag and a moment of silence. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. start this off, right? Resolution?
You just read, yeah, I don't know what.
Okay.
Excuse me,
Choose
Bo?
the tag back.
Oh, would
Oh,
you
you
like your
want it
items
back?
back?
Actually, the counter.
Oh, not a problem.
We'll be more
Thank
than
you,
happy
guys.
to share.
Not a problem, yes. The freeholder didn't want to say anything?
Just getting out of here as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I'm sure he was. He wasn't too happy with it. Okay. Number one, Resolution 2019-55, accepting retirement notification from a municipal employee.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, accepting the resignation or retirement of municipal employee Lee Kelber in our police department, who's been employed with us since 1997, is retiring effective June 1st of 2019.
Motion?
Move it. Second.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
Mayor Dykoff, oh my gosh, Mayor McDonald.
You're going to get fired.
I know, I'm gonna get fired, I know.
That's a hostile.
I couldn't think of your name. That was the worst part.
Yes, yes. My first resolution, you screw my name up.
I totally forgot who my
You're off to a
mayor
great
was.
start.
I totally forgot who my mayor was.
Because you jammed me about a pizza box.
See me do it.
I punished you.
Okay, number two, Resolution 2019-56, authorizing the assessor to file the assessor's appeal.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Ocean State of New Jersey, authorizing the tax assessor to file an assessor's appeal to correct certain errors made on assessments for the year 2019, and authorizing the tax assessor as agent in filing petitions of appeals and rollback complaint forms. This is a standard resolution we do on a yearly basis that the county tax board requires us to do, for errors and omissions, that it can be done within the office.
Motion?
Move it.
Second.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Giuliano?
Yes.
Mayor McDonald?
Yes.
I'm having a tough time tonight.
Number three, Resolution 2019-57, authorizing the provisional appointment based on a civil service desk audit.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, provisionally promoting Mary Brenner to the position of Record Support Technician 3 pending promotional procedures. This employee, back in 2018, had submitted a desk audit to civil service with regards to the duties that she was performing on our behalf. After various forms and petitions that went back and forth, civil service has determined that this employee was performing those duties and has granted her the promotion.
Move it.
Motion?
Move it.
Second.
Second.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Giuliano?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
Mayor McDonald?
Yes. Number four, Resolution 2019-58, authorizing the cancellation of a tax title lien.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, authorizing the cancellation of a tax title lien number 2018-0144 owned by the United States of America. This is on, it doesn't say the block, the amount that will be canceled is $4,051.29. Oh, it's block 1140, lot 12.
Motion?
Move it.
Second.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Giuliano?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
Mayor McDonald?
Yes. Number five, Resolution 2019-59, authorizing the release of a maintenance bond for a road opening permit.
Resolution to Township of Lacey, County of Ocean State, New Jersey, authorizing release of a maintenance bond posted by Michael Kirk for road opening permit 4721. This is the Clare Road extensions for Block 1241, lots 13 through 19, and Lot 26.
Motion?
Move it.
Second.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Giuliano?
Yes.
Mayor McDonald?
Yes. Number six, Resolution 2019-60, authorizing refund of deposits.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, authorizing the release of deposits held for the use of municipal facilities.
Motion?
Move it.
Second, please.
Second.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Giuliano?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
Mayor McDonald?
Yes. Number seven, Resolution 2019-61, authorizing the payment of the township bills.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, authorizing the payment of township bills in the amount of $5,643,156.41.
Motion?
Move it, but I'm abstaining in D400, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Second.
Mr. Kennis? And that
Yes.
was a yes with an abstention
Yes.
on D400? Did you s-
Correct.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes, noted abstentions G2200 and T0035.
And Mr. Giuliano?
Yes.
And Mayor McDonald?
Yes.
And that's it.
All right, monthly reports.
For the month of November, the municipal court collected receipts in the amount of $21,010.63. For the month of December, municipal clerk's office collected receipts in the amount of $2,892.13. Road opening permits for the month of December were collected in the amount of $17,010. Recycling commodity collected in the amount of $701, and truck parking collected in the amount of $1,475. The Community Development Department for the month of December collected receipts in the amount of $132,072.60. Motion to accept the reports is read.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the township meeting minutes of December 27th, 2018.
Move it.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the township meeting minutes of January 1st, 2019.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion to approve the raffle license applications for the Lacey Elks Lodge.
Move it.
Second.
You want the add-on first?
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah.
Okay, we have an add-on to do this evening. It's resolution number 63. It's a resolution of Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, opposing the Senate Bill 3229 and Assembly Bill 4743, which would allow the state to issue driver's licenses to persons who are unable to prove lawful presence in the United States. This is being done on behalf of a request from the 9th Legislative District, which is right here in our own neighborhood, with regards to these two assembly bills that are pending before the legislature that would allow the state to issue driver's licenses to persons who are unable to prove their lawful presence in the United States.
Motion?
Move it.
Any second?
Second.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes, with a comment. You know, driving's a privilege, and if somebody's going to come here and usurp our laws from the get-go and not follow through on proper way to come into our nation, people that know me in the town have long known that I've been an advocate for safe roads, DUI prevention, alcohol and underage drinking, drug use and abuse prevention. You need to be not only coming into the nation the correct way, because we have a nation of laws, and they are the guide rails of our society, but I further believe rewarding behavior to break the law to come in with a driver's license is just wrong at its core. I felt strongly about that. I wanted to add that comment, Mayor.
Thank you.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Giuliano?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
I'm going to, yes with a comment as well. And normally don't do this, but I was previously employed by the Motor Vehicle Commission, and the employees of the Motor Vehicle Commission do their due diligence to make sure that those who come in to apply for a license to take part in that privilege are, properly vetted. And this will make it very difficult for those employees to do their job. I strongly feel that this is the wrong thing to do, and I'm glad that we can support this cause that was brought up by our 9th District legislators, and that's why I'm voting yes. Thank you.
And let me have one clarification, if I could, Mayor. I talked about my work at the county with prevention with underage drinking and drug abuse. In no way am I saying anything negative about anybody trying to come into the country and linking those two. I'm talking specifically and only about, let's get the driver's license the right way. Let's keep our roads safe. We all have skin in the game. We all have families here. The road is the great equalizer. Let's make sure everybody has a driver's license, earns that driver's license, and earns citizenship to this great nation, the greatest that God gave mankind. Thank you.
Mayor McDonald?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I have to add on.
All right, okay. Comments from the committee. Let's start with Deputy Mayor Kennis.
Thank you, Mayor. Just two quick comments. The governor has finally appointed members to the State Planning Commission, so hopefully our town center application can be heard sometime this month. That's the rumor, and hopefully I'll be able to talk about it more in the future. And I've also been made aware of the problems with the detention pond on Frazee Court, and it's something that we're going to try and address in the spring as soon as the water levels in the detention pond recede. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Giuliano, Committeeman Giuliano.
Thank you. Everybody's seen that our new MUA building is almost done back here on R. Kennedy Boulevard. I think they're going to be moving into it tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. Am I right, Mr. Miguel? Are we helping him a little bit?
No, they're doing
They-
all this.
They're doing it all themselves? Good. Okay. So they'll be moving into there. I think we'll be having a ribbon cutting sometime in February. I think they'll announce it. It's a great thing. I mean, has anybody gone by the building?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Have you? What do you think of it?
I like it, it's nice.
Design. Did you went inside, right? You were, that's right.
was at the meeting
That's
last
right, you were at the meeting, that's
Yeah.
right. Nice inside, basic.
Very
but
modern.
Yeah, and it got right to the point. Also, I had the honor to go down to the new recovery center down here on Lacey Road next to the Methodist Church. It's called Exodus Recovery. A great bunch of people. I did the ribbon cutting while I was mayor down there. There's a lot of things that I challenge myself with, but I'm backing this 100%. I'm going to be helping them all the way from start to finish. I've never failed at anything, so I don't see myself failing at this. So we're going to give them all. I'm going to give them all the support they need to make them, because Donna Catlow is their name, and if you really get a chance, it's Thursdays 6 to 10,
Yep.
Fridays 6 to 10, and Saturdays 6 to 10. Go stop down there and speak to her. She's really a beautiful lady. We also had the honor to be down there the other night. The Elks, they amaze me in everything. Every volunteer organization we have in this town amazes me all the time of what they do. They did a defibrillator. They donated it to the center, the Elks. There's a lot of other things they're going to be doing in the future to help them, because they have their own little thing, which I'm wearing that pin. Did you get that while you were down
I
there,
did.
Pete?
I'm not wearing it this
Yes.
evening, but I did get it with
I'm
you.
going to have Rich Bear come in from the in the next meeting to speak about this little pin I'm wearing on here. It's a starfish. The story he told, I wasn't too sure, and I don't want to do the story, but there's a lot behind this pin and what the Elks do for drug awareness and all of that. So I'm going to bring him in the next meeting to speak about it. Other than that, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Committeeman Giuliano. Mr. Committeeman Dykoff.
Yes, so I sat up here quite a long time prior to my reelection, and I just want to say tonight's presentation by about the recycling was probably one of the most interesting that I sat through, and I learned a lot. And I know that this committee will try and educate the residents about this, about all the things that we've done wrong. I recall when we went from dual stream, and it was a big deal, we went to single stream, and I would hate for us to have to take a step backward, because I think when we made it easy for the residents, more people participated in recycling, and it's a great thing. It really is. If anyone's paid attention, there's going to be proposed legislation to eliminate or ban plastic bags. So it's the whole information about China was really, really interesting. The real thing that got my attention was the money, because I know that we looked over the years and we counted on those funds that came from the county in our budget, and I would hate to see it go away. So the better we do, probably, and the worse other municipalities do and entities, the more money we'll make. So I think it's a great thing. And I'll just say I'm happy to be back here working with you gentlemen and ladies, and look forward to a great term. Thank you very much, Mayor.
Committeeman Cordello.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll start by echoing some of the same sentiments as my colleague to the left. I want to thank Anthony Agliata and the folks from the county coming down here. Anytime we need help or assistance from the county, be it the Board of Chosen Freeholders or any support locally, they're there for us. I know Anthony Agliata. I serve on a board with him at the county level, and these are great people. They're very, very dedicated, and it was a great presentation. I want to thank our DPW Director, Dan McGill, for being here as well tonight, everyone in the audience. Last week, people of our town may have heard about a counterfeit situation, counterfeit $100 bills, and I wanted to just shed light on some of the good work our police department was doing with that. Not only were they on top of it, to me, counterfeiting is one of the most premeditated of crimes. To counterfeit a bill, you need an elaborate printing setup, you need to just conceive, preconceive, precognate how to do everything. It's a bastardization, an abuse of our commerce, of our economy, and our president's on phony bills. I don't like it. And I really believe it to be a true attack on our country, let alone what it does to our local economy. Our police were on this. The Detective Bureau did a fantastic job. Secret Service got involved. Last I heard, these folks are incarcerated, which is exactly where they should be. So I want to thank the police. A lot of people say this is a smaller town, not much happens here. Our police are on it, and I got their back. I'm glad that they are on things like this. This not only,
Excuse me.
Thank you. Excuse you. God bless you.
Excuse me.
God bless you.
But this is something that was going to hurt our small businesses, and I'm very glad that these folks were apprehended. I want to comment lastly on the Exodus Recovery Center. I was there yesterday along with Committeeman Giuliano. When somebody gets released or discharged from treatment, they go back to the same people, places, and things, and it triggers different things, and that's part of the reason for some recidivism. What Exodus is doing is it's really filling a void. You go there, you get some resume writing skills, you learn about nutrition, you learn about conflict resolution, you learn about how to navigate bureaucracy. This is something that's sustainable because it's free to folks who go there. There will not be anyone sleeping over there. This is a place where people are able to learn some life skills to get reintegrated into society, which is a good thing, to become productive members of society again. So I want to commend them. People have often told me about, people have often heard me speak about the Elks. I always say if there's always an issue in our town, look to your left or to your right, chances are an elk is standing right next to you, because they have donated more money, more funds, more defibrillators, kids in need, you name it. So there were several Elks there last night as well. So I want to thank them publicly, as I've often done privately, and that'll conclude my comments. Mayor, thank you for the time.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Cotel. Okay, let's start with mine. One of the things I've got to do when I'm up here as the mayor and as in my job is I got to control my time. So what I've decided to do is have office hours, and they're going to be Tuesday mornings and Friday afternoons, where I will be in town hall those hours definitely, and then probably some other times during the week. So if anybody wants to meet with me about anything, that's fine. They can contact Veronica. She's got control of my calendar. It's part of my calendar, I should say, and she'll set those meetings up, and I will be here for that. The bridge repair, please bear with us. We haven't gotten anything definite as to a time frame as to when they're going to be done, but it is a massive job. And then I just found out tonight that there's a little bump in the road on that thing, on the parkway, which is the reason why it jumped up. So my guess is once they may be able to do it both at the same time, but it may be extended a little longer while they smooth that road out a little bit. And last Friday I was, every now and then I'll surf Lacey Township Chatter, and I was on that and just surfing it and just see what people were having to say. And I came across this, and Dan, I'm glad you're here. This came out, and I immediately copied it and texted Veronica about it, and you'll see why. It reads this: a very special thank you to the two gentlemen from Lacey Public Works Department who collected Christmas trees today. We somehow left an important ornament on our tree that was given to my husband as a recognition for his service in the Army. These two gentlemen, veterans themselves, came back at least an hour or so after they picked up our tree to personally drop off the ornament and thank my husband for his service. My dog was barking uncontrollably, so I couldn't speak with them, or frankly hear them, for that matter, so I was unable to catch their names. I did make sure to call Public Works Department to make sure they get thanked again. So if you see these men out and about, make sure to thank them for their service, and perhaps we could all take a note of their kindness and pay it forward. And I asked Veronica to find out who they were. You know who they were, right?
Yes, it was Peter Jensen and Raymond
Bramwell.
Bramwell, right, exactly. And this is just an indication, or this is the type of worker that we have here that works for the Lacey Township. They go above and beyond the call of duty. They didn't have to do that. They didn't, I mean, it was on the trade, they got a job to do, they go out and do it. But this is what, and I've been saying this for a long time, this is what makes Lacey Township a very special place to live. So please thank them on behalf of the Township Committee, all right? Let's see. Senator Connor's petition. It's an online petition. You can go online and sign up to get against these driver's license for the illegal aliens that are here. This, to me, and Governor Murphy has talked about this many times, is making New Jersey a sanctuary state. This is the first step, in my opinion. This is the very first step in making this a sanctuary state, and that I do not want. I will come out against that with everything that I've got. You know, my grandfather came over, my father's father came over when he was 7 years old and never saw his parents again from Ireland. He came in the right way. So this is very personal to me. So we got to do this the right way. Yes, we want people to come into this country, we want them to come in and work, we want them to pay their taxes, we want them to enjoy our schools, the benefits are here, but they've got to come in the right way. If they come in the wrong way and we don't do anything about it, then why come in the right way? It makes no sense. So I really appreciate the Township Committee getting on board with this, and I will be looking out for when Governor Murphy starts to make the move to make New Jersey a sanctuary state. The last thing I have to talk about is the recycling. I have been on this for about 2 years now. Talked to Veronica, I've talked to the county about this. This is really, really important that we get this straightened out. It's about $200,000 that we could possibly lose in our budget, okay? And we
Not stating if we have to turn around and pay the county for it.
Right. We would lose, and then we might have to pay. So now you're looking at a whole lot more money going out, and that would be devastating to Lacey. So we need to get on top of this. I was really glad to hear that they're going to be able to zero in on the routes that aren't doing it right. And we found out that Pheasant Run has got a problem, so I told Veronica I want to get out and speak to Pheasant Run. I will speak to any organization about this anytime. Just let me know where I got to be, and I will get up and talk about this. This is extremely important. If you look at what our recycling budget is, or how much it costs this town, it's about 10% of our budget. Okay? So there's more that we have to do, and this is extremely important. So we're going to be focusing in on that in 2019. That's all I have. So let's get to comments from the public. Anybody have comments? Gavin.
Thank you. Good evening. Gavin Rossi, Lacey, New Jersey. Through the chair, since I received several inquiries from readers of both Lacey Township Online and Ocean County Politics, Ms. Steiger, do you have any comment today with respect to the indictment against Mr. Gilmore?
I do not. It's in his personal capacity. I have no comment.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Anybody else?
Good evening, committee. Edward Kanacki, Lenoka Harbor.
Hold on. Ed, is it Ed or Ted?
My name's Ted. My real name's Edward. People call me Ted.
Okay, all right.
I'd like to hear from the committee on what your thoughts about the recent indictment of George Gilmore is. As our township attorney, he's being paid with our tax dollars, and as you know, he's been indicted on 6 counts by the federal government. So I was curious to hear from the committee about that.
This just came down late this afternoon. At this point in time, all we know is the indictment. We haven't had a chance to discuss it, and we have no comment at this point in time.
If I'm not mistaken, he was just recently reappointed to be the township attorney for the following year, or this year we're in currently.
Correct.
Should he be convicted with that change from the township's perspective?
If that should happen, we will look at it at that point in time.
Is the committee not concerned about our township attorney being accused of the crimes he was accused of?
We are absolutely concerned about that.
But just no comment at this time?
No, because we don't have the facts. We don't know all that's going on.
Well, the indictment's public. All we know is
what was in the Asbury Park Press. Okay, so give us some time. One of the things that I've always learned in my time is when you face these types of situations, it's always best to take a deep breath and relax a little bit, and don't rush to make decisions or comments. So I think this is what we're going to do here. We're going to move forward slowly and judiciously, and we'll figure this whole thing out. If it's as bad as it looks, then we'll make a decision on that. But at this point in time, he's innocent until proven guilty. That's one of the great things about this country. And this is all personal stuff. There's no corruption here whatsoever. When the grand jury first came out, they came to Veronica with a subpoena for all the records. We cooperated 100%. If they come to us with any more subpoenas, we will absolutely 100% cooperate. We have nothing to hide.
Well, I'm not implying that the township had anything to do with
I understand.
this matter, but he is our township attorney.
Mhm.
We are paying over $100,000 a year to give us legal advice, and
Mhm.
he's being indicted on his own personal things. It would seem like there's some issue there that the committee would be interested in addressing.
Well, we'll address it, but we don't have all the facts. I haven't had a chance to talk to Mr. Gilmore. I will probably speak to him tomorrow sometime. I'm sure he's being inundated with phone calls, and we had this meeting tonight, and we'll go forward. Understand this, we still have a town to run, the town's still gonna operate, and employees are gonna show up, we still have meetings set for tomorrow, so the town's gonna continue to run. Yes, this is not what I wanted to hear on my first meeting. Let's be very honest.
If I were you, I wouldn't want to hear that either.
Exactly. So we're going to move forward. We're going to move forward slowly and judiciously. We'll talk to George. We'll get to the facts, and we'll let the law do the job.
What facts would you be looking for exactly?
I'm not going to answer that question.
There is one thing that I want to make notice, and I understand obviously all the connections that are being made and so forth, but again, it's his personal as opposed to the firm. And right now, the firm is the one that is representing the town. I am here working hard for the town. Again, I understand the connections, but one is personal, one is
Well,
the
in the
firm.
resolution that appointed Mr. Gilmore, it's Mr. Gilmore and Gilmore and Monahan PC, correct? That's how you're up here on.
Yes,
that
the
is correct.
designate, but it's the firm that is ultimately the one that
Right.
they pay. They make
Of the
payments to the firm.
Right.
Right.
So are you saying that the firm is not a part of this in any way?
I'm saying that I only know what you know, and it's all against him personally.
But he has been under investigation for quite some time, right? We all did know that.
Yes, we knew that.
Several years ago, we were,
Right.
yeah.
Because
yeah.
you said you responded to subpoenas.
Yeah,
so the
several years
township
ago now.
committee was aware that he was being investigated.
Yes.
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 And they're still confident in his representation at this point?
At this point, yes.
All the committee members are?
You don't have to answer if you don't want to, by the way.
Yes.
Why would they not have to answer?
We don't have
Because
to
we
answer.
don't have to answer.
They would, through the chair.
Is that
Basically,
legal
you make
advice
a comment,
that
the
you're
comment is
giving?
through the chair.
It's advice that I'm giving them, yes,
Yes.
as in representing
The attorney
them,
gave us the
yes.
advice.
They
As
don't
the
have to
as the
answer.
mayor, yes, we have the confidence of our attorney.
And among all the committee members, correct? Yes. All right, nothing further, thank you.
Anybody else from the public?
See now, motion to close the floor.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, first I have to read the resolution to go into executive session, I'm sorry. Resolution number 62, resolution Township of Lacey County, Ocean State of New Jersey, authorizing the convening of executive session in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act to discuss contract matters and anticipate pending litigation in matters of real estate. Motion, please?
Move it.
Second.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Dykoff?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
And Mayor McDonald?
Yes.
And there will be no
Correct.
official action taken following this meeting.
Correct. Motion to adjourn, please.
Move it.
Move it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All righty.